Yes, people. Welcome back to another stream. Yes, we are back live on the channel. Already 30 of you in the building. Wow, already. Make sure when you're joining the stream, you're hitting that like button and make sure you are subscribing. We're already on 15 likes. We're aiming for 50 likes today. You already know what's going down. We're on that road to 3,000 subscribers. We're already close to 2,500. I think we're literally about 250 away. So, yeah, we're smashing it this transfer window, man. And we're going to keep doing it for the next 2 days. The season is upon us. Well, we're already in the season. But, yeah, big up the chat, man. I hope everyone is doing well. Big up CJ. He's already in here. Run up the likes. Yeah, we can get to 25 likes quick. We're already on 16. You're getting nervous. Why are you getting nervous, mate? Isak deal happens. Deadline day. Yeah, big up Daryl. Big up Kate. Big up Benjamin. Yeah, big up everyone in the damn house. Guys, we're talking Isak. We're talking Gehi. And we're also going to be speaking about the Arsenal game. I was going to speak about the Morgan Rogers thing. But look, I'm realistic. We're not going to sign Morgan Rogers. But yeah, hope everyone is doing well. Doing well today. Let's talk about the Isak news then straight away. Hope everyone's doing well. Hit the likes. Make sure you're subscribing. And yeah, let's get into the Isak news. Exclusive. LFC submit official bid for Alexander Isak. The new bid will be submitted today. UK delegates from both clubs to meet in London in a few hours. The bid will be around 125 to 130 million mark. The news will leak to the mainstream within 24 to 48 hours. So that's the talk. Daryl, he's not going to go to Milan. I will be honest. I'm baffled because our fans are worried about the Isak deal, but it's obviously it will be guaranteed the next couple of days. I agree. I don't know why people are nervous. I really don't know why people are nervous about the deal. Same with Mark Gahey. I don't understand why people are actually nervous about this deal. I really don't. If people are nervous, let me know why. Let me know why. Let me know why. Why you are nervous? Why are you nervous? Why are you? What time is the bid going in? I mean, we don't know. The bid might already be in. Look, me personally, when this Isak deal does eventually happen, it will literally be simply as this: Liverpool have agreed a deal. And I don't think you'll see any build up to it. Oh my God, Liverpool plays bid, this. I genuinely think it will be simple. Liverpool have agreed a deal with Newcastle. Here we go. Medical, this and that. I don't know. It seems like another domino effect to me. Simmons to Tottenham, Elliott to Leipzig, and Rodgers to us. This could be, to be honest. But where's that link in for Aston Villa? Already 40 watching. Smash the likes and subscribe. If a Kanji deal collapses, Milan aren't going to get Gomez, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I don't buy into any of the Morgan Rogers stuff. I mean, look, I've been proven wrong before, and it won't be the first, and it won't be the last, right? But the simple factor is, I just don't see a world where we get Morgan Rogers. So that's why I'm not really talking about it. I mean, look, if more and more news comes out, then yeah, I will speak about it and talk about it. Apparently, Newcastle have agreed all the paperwork for Nick Woltemade. So that announcement should be soon, and that is where it's linking to Liverpool, where the bid should be going in. Also, Wolves have signed a striker now, so that looks like that's going to be happening potentially on the other side of things, as to regards to Larson to them. I don't want the whole Jude Bellingham thing happening again with Isak. Only thing that worries me. I don't see it happening, but I don't see it happening if we don't bid by Sunday night. Fair enough. Yeah, big up QT mods, big up Ravi in the house, man. I've seen Thiago and Jota come in the same day. Jota wasn't even on the radar. Exactly, deals happen quick when a club wants to sign a player. When a football club wants to sign a player, they make it happen, especially with days to go and hours to go. Newcastle are going to agree anything we send in. As long as we send in over 120 million, I believe they're going to accept. You know, I do. I do. Newcastle stop being PR. Yeah. But I asked a poll, already 33 votes. When will Isak deal happen? 58% saying today, 6% tomorrow, Monday and deadline day. 18% saying not happening. Okay, so are people not confident then? Is that what it is out here? People not confident that this deal is going to happen. I mean, we'll see when it does. We will see when it does. I do want to pull through a couple of tweets I do have regarding the Isak situation. This is what Alex Crook had to say. I wouldn't be surprised if Isak to LFC gets done by Monday, but it won't be as far as much as 130 million. Obviously, Florian Plattenberg saying the exact same thing. This is what Craig Hopers had to say. Alexander Isak is looking increasingly likely. Liverpool preparing a bid. Like, everyone's coming out with it now. I do want to see if Craig Hopes released a video regarding this situation. Let me have a look. What's he said? Okay, mate. Should we have a listen on that? Big up the chat, by the way. Hit the like. We are going to react to this. Make sure you're hitting that like button and make sure you are subscribing.
Well, hello again, guys, from here at Whitley Park, Newcastle United Media HQ. Just behind the trees there, the team are preparing for Leeds tomorrow, and there's really some big, significant team news and availability.
It's announced.
Pronunciation. Thank you for those who corrected me last night, although I will give it 3 or 4 different versions during this one video alone. And the good news is, the biggest news is, my friend on the lawnmower, he's miles away, although when he sees I've got the salty stick out, he'll probably make his way over, which I think is what he is doing now. But first of all, to the quote, to the new breaking update. Anyhow, inside there, to a question from myself, I asked him, with regards to Alexander Isak's future, does he have a preference? Now, the way I couched the question was, there are potentially 2 eventualities here. Either you bring in Nick Woltemade, correct pronunciation, and potentially one other and draw a line under the Isak situation, or you bring in Woltemade and take the gamble of reintegrating Isak and have those 2 strikers in your squad. Eddie said, of course, I have a footballing preference. Now, we'll dissect that first of all. Of course, the footballing preference is for Alexander Isak to stay into play. It would be very strange if he said something different. Everybody would go along with that from the top to the bottom. The want has always been to find a way to bring Isak back in. As I'm just going to take some shelter around the corner here as the wind picks up. That want has always been to bring Isak back in. It's why, as the story revealed on Monday night at Daily Mail Sport, that the high-powered Saudi delegation, the Reservoir Dogs, the men in suits, went to his house in Darris Hall and tried one last time to make that play. But Isak said no. he wants to go. Now, of course, football-wise, the preference, the best eventuality would be that he'd said yes in that scenario, and he played against Liverpool, Leeds, he played in every game going forward. But he's adamant, he's steadfast, that is not going to be the case, whether that be now or beyond the window, if Newcastle kept him against his wishes. And that is what speaks to the second part of Eddie's answer. He said, yes, I have a footballing preference.
By the way, chat, it's fully announced he has completed the medical, and Newcastle are paying a club record 69 million for the giant striker. He wear number 27. So this is where people are thinking now, the bid goes in. The bid goes in. Yeah, we can get to 40 likes. Pick up my mods in the chat. Is it real? Because that's why he's inconsistent. What, Indicala? The thing is with Indicala, and I've said this on many occasions, I feel like when it comes to Liverpool, he does have good sources. When it comes to other clubs, I don't really listen to him as much. One, because I don't really care what other clubs' transfer businesses do, and two, I'm not really bothered. But I mean, I've seen a bit of him, to be honest. I think he's going to do really well for Newcastle. I think he's going to do. I think he's going to do really well. 1 second, chat. Something just fell down from my desk. For God's sake. But no, I think he's going to. Oh my God. How is that? God's sake. 1 second. Hit the likes while you're at it as well. But no, I think he's going to do really well for Newcastle. And to be honest, if they can get another striker in, it's a successful window for them. They've brought in a centre back, they've brought in a winger, 2 strikers. I mean, still successful, right? And now you'll be free of PSR for a bit. So in January, if you have a really good season up until January, you'll be able to go and splash the cash. You'll be able to go and splash all the cash. Still from Stuttgart, yeah. And Mr. News, was there an Isak bid? As of right now, we're talking about the potential bid, potentially going in. Because obviously that right now is the conversation that is that everyone's talking about. It's what everyone's talking about. What football we got today, chat, as well, by the way. I need to have a look, because I think there's some good games on. Yeah, I've just seen it. I've got Sky Sports News up on my thing. Yeah, Newcastle signed Nick Woltemade from Stuttgart. Decent signing, and to be honest, they beat Bayern Munich to the signing, because Bayern Munich wanted to buy him. They tried to buy him a couple of weeks or months ago, remember? They've just signed Jackson, obviously, so they're not. Don't think they're too arsed, to be honest. 72 of you in the building. Let's try and push these likes up to 40s, chat. And by the way, we're on that road to 2,500 subscribers. We're literally 4 subscribers from 2,250. So potentially, if we can try and get past that today, Leeds versus Newcastle today, I might have to watch that still. Yeah, some good games on. Some good games on. There's Aston Villa Crystal Palace at 6:45. Jesus. But yeah, let's try and push towards 50 likes in the stream. Newcastle hate along. If I'm free, I'm gonna do a hate along. Yes. If I'm free, I'm gonna do a hate along. You already know I'm doing hate alongs. I put out that post. Newcastle hate alongs for the season. Do you think Isak and Gehi get done before deadline day? I've said Isak and Gehi gets done for the past 2 months. I honestly don't understand this whole narrative that YouTubers and everyone's concerned about it. like, I don't know how many more times it has to be explained. I'll explain it why Isak gets done. One, they've just signed Nick Woltemade, right? So that's done, right? He's announced. That's 80 million quid, right? Then going to try and bring in Larson. That's going to cost you 60 million quid. How much is that altogether? About what? 130, 140? They're going to pay for that? For them to? That's your Isak money. Done. Crystal Palace have just signed a centre-back. How much do they want? 40 million. Both teams will compromise. The later the window gets on, the less that price tag goes down, and the pressure puts more on Crystal Palace to get done. Simple. Yeah, we can get to 50. Yeah, 100%. Big up the chat as well, man, as always, man. Like, the love and support. Ridiculous this summer. It is ridiculous. It's honestly, it is, and it's mind-blowing. The fact that now when I go live, I get like 50 straight away people watching is just insane. It's insane. I could fill a couple of classrooms with that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the other day, I think we had like 200 watching. So big up the community as always. Make sure you like it and make sure you're subscribing. Gahey, what about Gahey? Oh, do I think Gahey gets done? Yeah, I do. I said in June, we both get Isak and Ekitike. Knew I was right from the time. Exactly. People thinking just because the 2 days ago that means Isak's off. No. Isak is going to be a Liverpool player. In my opinion, I think the deal will get done late tomorrow. Potentially, you could see some stuff. Can you imagine Ekitike, Isak, Salah be like a dream? Insane, mate. Insane. And we deserve this as fans. Just keep up the hope. Keep up the pressure, you know what I'm saying? Every single time. Let me see what the poll is saying. When will Isak deal happen? 55% saying yes. Still a lot of people are saying no. I'm going to call it for the Isak and Ekitike show like Suarez and Sturridge, you know. I mean, hey, you never know, my guy. You never know. You never know, do you know what I'm saying? At least say next year. But yeah, chat, I do want to bring up a Fabrizio Romano clip. He did reply to a tweet I did see, and I'm gonna bookmark. I bookmarked it where he replied to someone's tweet about the Isak situation. And also, yeah, loads of people are saying it's gonna happen. It's looking increasingly likely now. You know, this is what. This is what's coming up from the Telegraph. Alexander Isak's proposed move to Liverpool has moved close in the past 24 hours. According to sources who expect the Premier League record transfer to be going over the weekend, sources are anticipating an offer starting at 130 million before add-ons, bonuses, raised overall package of what would be a British transfer record. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about spending that much money on Alexander Isak? Are you comfortable with it? Do you care? Which one is it? Which one? Szoboszlai and Elliott been our best players. Yeah. I do want to play a clip from TalkSport. Simon Jordan calling Isak no backbone. Let's take a listen.
Tommy, first up, Newcastle fan.
Big up the
what
chat.
would you like to see happen now, Tommy, regards this whole Isak situation?
Morning, gents. I love the show. I listen to it all the time when I'm at work in the van. Great show.
Thanks, Tommy. Tommy, on you go, mate. Right, take centre stage. Tell us.
Yeah, I just wanted to make points on the back of what Simon said. Basically, I fully agree with why didn't he just put in a transfer request? And if I was Eddie Howe, on the point of Eddie Howe and Eddie Howe's knowledge and opinion, he probably doesn't want to continuously speak about the saga of it because it's just negative light. and it's taken the shine off what a great club and what a great job the current players who want to be there are doing. If Alex does want to reintegrate or is able to, I would be saying and making it public and putting him in the reserves, making him play and making him earn his position back. We all know he's probably one of the top 10 strikers in the world, but
top 10
through it, make him realise that it's not acceptable.
He's
it's
top
not
3.
How you conduct business. It's not how you show up for Newcastle United. And I just also want to ask Simon a question, with him being an ex-chairman. Simon, what when you have a contract with a player, what safety net is there for a club with regards to this position? Because we've seen it in the Premier League's history, and it's just, I guess, a Premier League thing, maybe a foreign thing too in the top leagues. I guess I don't have any knowledge of players in lower leagues doing it, but
when you say safety net, you mean what are the consequences and remedy to a player deciding to do what he wants to do? One of them isn't certainly to have any condemnation from their pathetic union, but the reality of it is you have a contract, so the player can huff and puff. It's about what you're prepared to do in the end to provide a solution. It'll be one of two. It'll be either accept the principle and try and rinse as much money out of the transaction as you possibly can and make the buying club pay what you will consider to be a reasonable deal, or have the real courage and the real gumption, as football clubs have done previously, and one proven to be the case recently, despite the protestation of Gibbs White. He was out the door, he wanted to go. And now, of course, Nottingham's all roads lead back to Nottingham, because the owner intervened and said, this is not how it operates. There is no safety net. There is only a mechanism to concentrate players' minds by putting them out into the reserve squads, which of course in comes the union saying that denies them sporting chance. They'll pop up then rather than condemn the player's conduct, fining him, or accepting the commercial reality of saying, right, okay, we need to create competitive tension in the conversation, see if we can get another club to buy him, and then make the buying club that's unsettled him in the first place pay the price that we want. But to actually concentrate someone's mind and to make them, you can possibly take them into court and do what Chelsea did to Adrian Mutu for different reasons. Mutu broke his contract because of drug taking, breached the contract and got sued for it. And some of that might happen in the future to players if they keep on with this nonsense. But right now, there isn't a one-size-fits-all. That's what happens if you do that.
Tommy, thanks for the call. Many more Newcastle fans trying to get through. We'll take a few more as we go along this morning. Just trying to find out where we're at, almost coming up to 11 o'clock this Tuesday morning, to see what is the very latest situation following these reported talks yesterday that are said to have taken place between Newcastle co-owner Jamie Rubin, a PIF delegation, and Isak and Isak's people at Isak's home before they played Liverpool last night at St James's Park. What comes back to me and what I can broadcast while we're on air today, I'll bring to air before we go at 1 o'clock. Simon, as you might imagine, many Newcastle fans coming to air this morning. I'm just going to be selective here because we've got so many. I'm going to pick you out, Mick. Mick, you want to join us? What do you want to say in this situation?
Oh, hi, guys. Best show on the radio, this. Can I make a few very quick points?
Sure,
First
mate,
one,
yeah.
Obviously, definite sending off, but a bit of kudos to Van Dijk because, he acted really professional. I thought, he didn't roll over, didn't make the theatrics and everything.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to take a little bit of credit for that. I thought the coverage by Sky was absolutely abysmal and shocking because if you go off that, Isak would have scored 5 goals in the first half. Every time the ball went in the box, Isak would have been on the end of that. In fact, I'm surprised I didn't say that he would have scored one for Liverpool.
Maybe you should have treated him better then.
And Mick, on Isak, do you want him
should
to
have treated
remain
him
at the
better
club
then,
or do you want him out of there?
shouldn't you?
Well, I would get on the jellyfish that's Isak. No, the guy's got no backbone. All he had to do was to put a transfer request in.
No backbone. No backbone. All he had to do was put a transfer request in. I think what he's done is probably worse than a transfer request. I think what he's done is probably better than a transfer request. I don't think he can make it more obvious he wants to leave your club. Waffle.
He's let his teammates down, which has got to be the lowest of the low when it comes to professional sport.
Have they just been dropped?
Don't give him away. If it's £150, I'll let him rot. Fortunately, we are quite a wealthy club. We can do that. Let him sit. Let him waste it like his year. Come up to the World Cup. And as far as I'm concerned, I hope he never ever pulls on a black and white shirt ever again.
Oof. Okay, Mick, thanks for that. Ali, final caller on this, and then I'll get Simon to wrap it up. Where are you at with it, Ali?
Couldn't disagree more with the previous caller. I'd have Isak back tomorrow if we're playing. He is just one of the best strikers that's out there in the world. I don't understand why everyone's getting so emotional and irrational.
Chat, by the way, our Champions League games have just been released. I just got that on my Twitter feed. So obviously we got Arsenal. Atletico Madrid's our first game. Then it's Galatasaray away, Frankfurt, Madrid on the... I need to get a ticket for that. Then it's PSV. And then... Wait, do we not be what? We normally play in the Champions League past January. I don't know why they've not been confirmed. But yeah, interesting.
Get him back in, get him banging the goals in. That's my point, Jim.
So, Ali, you telling us you understand Isak's position and his behaviour?
Yeah, I know they got released 2 days ago, but I'm on about like the actual dates and the schedule of it.
Yeah, look, who doesn't want to go on and improve themselves? Who doesn't want to be the best that they can in any career?
You got the chat,
If you're
man.
a
Let's
mechanic,
try and get
if
these likes
you're
up.
a carpenter, and
Make sure
someone
you're
says,
subscribing
work
if you are
a better
new.
job and do better at yourself, who wouldn't want that?
I'll start off with
NatWest
you,
is helping young people grow their money confidence.
You're nodding to this, Simon.
There's no dispute that. No one would dispute that, but that's not what he's done. What he's done is decided that he's going to down tools, withdraw his services, and orchestrate a set of outcomes which brings the club into slight disrepair because he's suggesting that people inside the club don't honour their words, which means that people that sign for Newcastle in the future will have that reverberating around their ears. And all of these things are not conducive or appropriate or in keeping with a top footballer doing things in the appropriate fashion. They're just footballers. They don't get the pass. Just because they're footballers, they don't get a pass for doing things that are not right. And I would be in the same camp as the caller, which is getting back in the camp and getting playing and move past the tribalism of it all and move past the nonsense, because if he's scoring goals, your team is better, and then get from him what you want when it suits you. Rather than that's the clever move. That's the situation that you want to do, which is use him in the way that he used you. He used you as a stepping stone. You brought him into a club. You paid a lot of money for him. You gave him a chance. You helped develop his career. You created opportunities for him. Eddie Howe made him a better player. His natural ability and his technical ability have taken him to the level. Let's not take 1 second of that away, but let's have it right.
Yeah.
Let's have it. And then all this playing to the gallery. I mean, of course, you asked me what I'd have done if I'd have been Jamie. I would have wanted. I'm assuming they must have seen the whites of this player's eyes much earlier in the equation, because that's what you're asking for. Let's see the whites of someone's eyes. Let's see you say to me what you and your mouthpiece are saying in the media. Let's see you represent your position, so I can fully understand why it is you're under the impression that you can do as you please.
The co-owner, Jamie Rubin, and Mr. Romano, the chairman of the football club, were on the pitch at the end as the players came off. Would you have done that?
Oh, listen, styles make fights. And I think there's too much theatrics. I mean, these guys are very busy, powerful, influential, wealthy people. That because the football fans live and eat and breathe the football club doesn't mean that they do. And so with the greatest scheme in the world, this is a football club that's got huge investment behind it in terms of an ownership model that's not challenging anybody. It's not pushing PSR. It's not pushing commercial agendas. It's not challenging the orthodoxy as Man City did, albeit the landscape and the runway was different for Man City, but they're still challenging the conventional wisdom around the way that the Premier League constructs its APT deals. The PSR governance and all of that are not being challenged by Saudi. So there's a strange perspective in the way that they're running the football club, because most people expected it to be a very robust organization, irrespective of the governance, would build its training ground out, would go after commercial deals, would do a whole bunch of things, would contrive and have a tactical breach of PSR like Chelsea have done and Aston Villa have done and do concessions left, right. They've done none of that. So tell me, what are they about? What is the Saudi mentality behind the ownership of this football club? Because it's not doing the things I thought it would do. But in the interest of leading the football club, you've got to understand. I mean, what is the benefit of going around the player's house and then briefing the press that you've done it, and then telling everybody you're making progress, and then standing on the pitch and making yourself visible? Run the bloody club. Run it. Get rid of these situations. Make decisions. Don't sit there allowing us and other people like us to fill the vacuum around your football club and allow the football fans to think certain things rather than run it. And standing on a pitch, patting someone on the back after they've lost the game is not tantamount to anything other than optics and theatrics.
I want to thank all the Newcastle fans for calling in. So many of you calling in, just asking me if there's an update. And so many of you agreeing with what Simon's saying this morning. If there is some kind of development or update, we'll bring it to you first and fastest. It's Jim White and Simon Jordan live on TalkSport Tuesday morning. We're at 11.
Jim White and Simon.
That was quite a funny clip, that was a very funny clip. Let me go to the poll. So over 100 votes. Will Isak deal happen? 50%, are saying yeah. 50%. 50. Yeah, I agree. Simon Jordan can't run a club, so his comments should be invalid. His comments should be invalid. Let me just check something. Yeah. Has anyone from Liverpool Football Club said the bid is going to be made today? Well, I mean, I doubt it. Flipping on a slot's going to come out and say, yeah, the bid's going in. Yeah, Trent. I don't know if he'll play. I don't know. Wait, Indy blocked me before outing. He's backtracking. Did he actually? Yeah, Costas is gone. He's gone to Roma. That's confirmed. Are we buying Crystal Palace defender? What is in Mark Gay? I think so. I do still think that deal happens. I do. Happy to boo Trent, but what if apologize? No. Nope. Doesn't matter what he can do. He can give me all his wages for a month, and I still won't want him back. If Gay starts tomorrow, we are not signing him. I think Gay, he's just ultimate professional, where he'll just keep playing until a deal happens. I think Crystal Palace are in that same mindset. I think Mark Gay happens on deadline day. So make of that what you want. People asking in the chat about the Champions League dates. These are the dates. Atletico Madrid the 1st, 17th. And then the 30th, Galatasaray. Eintracht Frankfurt, Real Madrid is the one we're looking at. PSV, Inter Milan, Marseille, and then flipping Tesco bag is in Qarabag on the 28th. And to be fair, those I was hoping we would get like Qarabag and Marseille first, so then we can kind of rest our team more towards the last 2-3 games like we did last year. I mean, coming first or second is irrelevant because you saw what happened that last year. Yeah, let's get these likes up. We're literally 12 likes away. So if you're not hit the like button, make sure you do so. And if you've not subscribed, make sure you've subscribed. We're on that road to what we're on the road to 2,500. So aiming to try and get there in the coming days. That's what we're aiming for. I'm not bothered who we play. You have to be the best in the competition. You couldn't be more far from the truth than being truthful there, mate. I do want to play a clip from Fabrizio Romano's last Isak update. I'm going to get that up for you now.
With other candidates, could open the doors for Alexander Isak to join Liverpool. I spent the recent months, weeks, days, but also hours, in the last 24, 48 hours, telling you how Isak was keep pushing to go to Liverpool, and that remains the case. Liverpool knows that Isak spent the whole days telling Newcastle, I'm not staying, I'm not going to train, I'm not going to play. I want to go to Liverpool. I'm not going to sign a new contract. Newcastle tried in every way, including release clauses for 2026, lower than the price that Liverpool want to pay now. So Newcastle were trying every kind of solution to keep the player at the club. Not possible. Isak only wants to go to Liverpool. And now, with Woltemade going to Newcastle and with the opportunity to bring a new striker, I will be really careful on that story because Liverpool are still there. Liverpool are still fighting. Liverpool are still working on a deal to sign Nick Woltemade as new striker. To sign Alexander Isak as new striker with Nick Woltemade going to Newcastle. So that remains the story. That remains the point. So now, guys, let's follow also the situation regarding another big topic of the transfer window, and this Xavi thing.
So yeah, as he said there, this is when the Nick Woltemade deal was at the close to the here we go stages. And this is why people in the chat should have belief that this deal is going to happen. Because like he says there, simple as that, right? Let's see what happens once that deal potentially gets done. Now it's done, I expect this deal to happen. Again, I'm going to bring up some more tweets about Isak in just a second. Gimme a striker from Sweden. Piss off all the Geordies now he plays for the Reds. Listen, there's going to be a lot of songs around him in there. There's going to be a lot of chants. A lot. But I reckon we get the bid in. For me, I reckon a bid goes in. I'm guessing. I reckon maybe tonight. David Ornstein has given an update on the Alexander Isak situation. By the way, Fabrizio Romano, quote, replying to this tweet with the eyes and the laughing. This is what I said. Honest lot, if there's any transfer news, not that I know. Probably there is a lot, but if you check Fabrizio Romano, if you want to see transfer news at our ground, not this Friday morning, but things can change rapidly in football, especially the last few days of the window. If you think the right player is the right amount of money there, then we hesitate. Let's see what comes up in the coming days. Slot's basically confirming we are going to make signings. Like, I don't think you can make it more obvious without saying, yes, we are going to sign blah, blah, blah. Strand Larson dropped from Wolf Squad. Well, there you go. There you go. It's all in the pudding. David Ornstein has released an update. Here we go. Let's take a listen to this.
Hours or longer. Yeah, David's with me. David, first of all, so Nick Woltemade has now been confirmed as a Newcastle player. So link
89 of you in the
Alexander
building.
Isak
Smash
and what
these
the
likes and
implications are for him
subscribe.
and joining Liverpool potentially.
Yeah, Newcastle have now got their new striker, number 10, 9.5, whatever his exact position is. And it's come at a significant expense because it's like 75 million euros plus 5 million euros in add-ons. So you would expect him to lead the line in some shape or form. And Newcastle are still looking in the market. They retain an interest in Jorgen Strand Larsen at Wolves, in Johan Wisser at Brentford. And the conditions of an Isak sale were always getting a couple of replacements in or reinforcements, and also whatever money would come from Liverpool needed to meet their satisfaction. We've heard this 150 million figure. If it happens, we don't know what it might end up at. Liverpool have been sort of sat back from this, kind of letting it unfold. They made their £110 million bid and they haven't come back in with a new offer, but their interest remains firm. And crucially, he is determined, we understand, to move to Liverpool. And that hasn't diminished at all. So naturally, we could see this evolving before the transfer window closes. But as things stand, it hasn't quite sparked into life. I'm sure there are things going on behind the scenes, and we should find out, finally, a resolution soon.
Where do you think he's going to end up? Hand on heart. If I'm saying to you, professional judgment, Newcastle or Liverpool?
I think it's looking increasingly like Liverpool, but still a lot needs to happen for that to take place. So you cannot rule out him staying at Newcastle. But even at St James's Park, I think there's a growing expectation now that a move to Liverpool could happen.
A move to Liverpool is going to happen. David, just be honest. Just be honest, mate. Can you not... CJ, why do you have to say this on the eve before a game? Arsenal just a team of steady Eddie Howe, nothing exceptional in a squad like we do. Yep. I think Eze and Saka different makers. I mean, two of them, I don't think they'll both play, to be honest. I think Eze might come off the bench. I don't think he'll start for Arsenal. Although it's super duper make he might just throw him in there. He might just be like, bash. But that was a... Yeah, it's going to happen. Relax. Fabrizio Romano with that retweet, that's kind of funny. Let me just see Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talk about Rodgers. It's like, it's not going to happen. We're not going to sign Rodgers. No. I would be shocked. If we sign Morgan Rodgers, I will do a 50-hour live stream. There you go. And I've already promised you, if we sign Isak, we're doing a 24-hour. That's more likely going to happen. If it does happen, I'm going to do it on the match week 4 of the Premier League. So if I go to Liverpool fixtures for you, chat, I will probably do it around the Burnley game. I'm not going to do an international break. Although, do I do it when FIFA's released? You know what? I will do the 24-hour stream. Oh, but then I think I might be going to the Merseyside derby, so I can't do it then. So I'd have to be on the 14th of September. The 14th of September, we'll do the 24-hour stream. There you go. How about that? Let's go through some stuff. Yeah, again, Alex Crook saying, don't be surprised. Playing goal, speak about Isak and Gay. I mean, at least one of the two is expected. As he ready someone new offer for Isak as soon as Newcastle give the green light. Newcastle are going to give the green light now. I think now Nick has been signed. I expect Newcastle to fully what about head shape if Isak happens? No. That won't happen. If we sign 4 players from now to the end of the window, I'll shave my hair off. I need to go to the barber's, man. I haven't had a skin fade or anything for about a month. Don't know what's happened, man. Well, Jesus. We take too long to sign players. We need another month to sign Rodgers. Yeah, but the thing is, Liverpool would have signed Isak and Gaya right now if they could. It's not their fault that Newcastle are being Mardy and Mark Gahey. They're waiting for we're waiting for replacements. Newcastle have got their replacement. Palace have got their replacement. Hence why in the next 2 days, I fully believe the deal is going to become heavily advanced. And yeah, we get the deal over the line for them. That's what I personally believe. I want to see if Keith Dowie has done a vid. Should we listen to what he has said? Videos. Let's take a listen. And then what we're going to do is I'll give you my prediction on Isak, and then I will we'll speak about Gay for a bit.
Days left of this summer transfer window. Thank God for that. And it's all over and we can concentrate on the football. Right, guys, loads to get into today. Huge news for Newcastle yesterday and today with the arrival of a striker. I'm going to get into that. I've got more information on potential arrivals and also some exclusive shots. Before I get into that, if you're new to the channel, coming towards the end of the window, please do subscribe. Leave your comments on this video. Give me a thumbs up if you want more of this transfer sort of stuff. Give me your thoughts in terms of how we can make it better. And then I can get a chance to look at these once we get past Tuesday. Anyway, I'm sure you're all aware. You would be crazy if you weren't. Nick Woltemade, I think that's how you say it, arrived on Tyneside last night to undergo a medical after Newcastle struck a deal with Stuttgart. £69 million. That's 65 million up front, plus £4 million in add-ons, which represents a club record.
That's probably why they want to spend that much.
The blue. Newcastle only got it off the ground yesterday morning. In a matter of hours,
Do you think Newcastle will spend 70 mil?
The player was desperate to come. I'm told he decided as soon as he heard that Newcastle were interested, he wanted to come. Personal terms agreed. I think he's on a pretty hefty wage, not too far off of what Alexander Isak was earning here at Newcastle. And he will come in and sign a long-term contract. All 6'6" of him, towering presence. looks like a real handful and someone who will light up the Premier League and someone who will really improve under Eddie Howe. So I'm stood here right now. It's lunchtime on Friday. He has undergone his medical this morning. He was up bright and early to do that medical. He's currently inside the stadium behind me, finalising his move, getting his photographs taken with his new shirt. I believe his squad number is 27. And he will be announced as a Newcastle signing later on. Now, Newcastle were trying desperately to get him registered in time to play against Leeds tomorrow. I don't know the exact outcome of that yet, but Eddie Howe said this morning he thinks it's very unlikely that they would be able to get him registered in time. So unless there's a huge change on that, he will not be in the squad to play Leeds at Ellen Road tomorrow, which is a bit of a blow because I'm sure all you guys travelling down there to Leeds tomorrow would have liked to have seen him play. I think there's a chance he would have been thrown in at the deep end had they managed to get him registered, but it's just really tight with that 12 o'clock deadline and it's been and gone now. So I'll endeavour to find out. There's no point in me talking about it because the time you watch this video, we will have an answer on that. But so Woltemade in the building. Looks like, look, it's someone that Newcastle have liked for a while. Eddie Howe clearly has watched them, but it feels like they're taking a bit of a risk. Obviously, they've tried with Ekitike and Sesko and João Pedro and Delap. All these players were to come in and essentially replace Alexander Isak and give him the opportunity to leave. None of them have worked, so that is why Isak has remained at the club throughout the whole summer. Still remains, but I have to say, with the imminent arrival of Woltemade, I would, from my information, that tells me that Alexander Isak is a lot more likely to join Liverpool, and it opens the door for his exit. You've got to think of the figures here: £69 million. Newcastle don't have that lying down the back of the sofa to go and spend while they keep Isak as well. They just don't have that. The money they're spending on this is essentially the money that they're going to coin in from Liverpool for Alexander Isak. Now, while I think they're still trying to bring in another striker, and I think there's a good chance that Newcastle will bring in another, the two names that keep coming back to me and that I know they're remaining talks with are Johan Wissa, which I've mentioned multiple times on my channel, and also Jørgen Strand Larsen. Of course, Newcastle have had two offers for Wissa turned down, 25 and 40. I think it was 35 plus 5. Might have been 30 plus 5, I can't remember, but around about 35. And they've had two offers for Strand Larsen, 55 and 60, both turned down by Wolves. The two offers for Wissa, both turned down by Brentford, but Newcastle hoping to sign one of them. There's hope from Wissa that he'll get the move here. There's hope from Strand Larsen, he will get the move here. Both players want to sign for Newcastle and are desperate to play for them up front this season in the Champions League. However, their clubs are digging in. Wolves will say they don't want to sell him, and that's always been their stance. However, it's important to see that they are trying to bring in a replacement, and they've got a player in for talks, and I think for a medical at the moment. His name escapes me, but he was top scorer in the Belgian league with 20 goals or 18 goals last season. So that would suggest to me there may be an opening with that one. I wouldn't say that's dead. I know I tweeted last night saying the two players were too similar. That's not my understanding at this moment in time. Things changing day to day. I'm probably reading too wrong into things, but as I understand it, there's still a chance of Jørgen Strand Larsen happening, and there is still a chance of Johan Wissa happening. It's one or the other. If you're to ask me right now which one's more likely, I would.
Well, someone's getting arrested, aren't they, in the background?
Last night, I would have said Wissa. So things are changing all the time, and look, none of us knew about Nick Woltemade until yesterday afternoon. So look, things can come out of the last minute out of the pipeline. But look, brilliant recruitment from Newcastle yesterday to get that done, to fool us all, bring him in last minute. These are the sorts of transfers we want to see. We hate these transfers now that are leaked out everywhere, and we talk about every itch and scratch, and by the time the deal's done, we're all bored of hearing of it. There's a lot of transfer aggregators out there right now strangling the life out of every single piece of transfer news and every transfer club's transfer. So it was so nice just to see that striker arrive last night. We'd only been speaking about him for a couple of hours. To see him arrive in Tyneside and Newcastle pushing to get the deal done quickly today. Really, that's how it used to be. That's how it was fun, and let's hope we've got more of those moving forward. But what I would say is Newcastle's second striker that they're trying to sign is less of a surprise. The two I've mentioned, Wissa and Strand Larsen, I think it'll be one of those two. It might be neither. And if it's neither, Newcastle have got a decision on Alexander Isak. Do they just go with Woltemade and allow Isak to go. I think there's a chance of that. They've got a decision to make. However, if
Chat.
Wissa arrives or Strand
Hope you're
Larsen
well,
arrives,
man.
my understanding
9
is
likes
the
from
door is open
50.
for Isak to leave.
If you've not hit the
Liverpool
likes,
have to
make
an
sure you've
offer
done so.
that's
Make
acceptable
sure
to
you are
Newcastle, of
subscribing.
course, and the player wants to go. We know he wants to go, but I think Newcastle, and just listening to Eddie Howe's words again this morning at his news conference, I think Newcastle have kind of privately accepted now that the best thing to do would be to part ways with Alexander Isak, and I think his days here now are numbered. I would be surprised if Alexander Isak is a Newcastle United player beyond the end of this transfer window. I think Liverpool will come back in. How much will they come back in with? We wait to see. But you're not going to like hearing this, but it feels that Liverpool are in a position of strength now because they'll know that Newcastle signing Woltemade and potentially one more, they need to sell Isak. So, look, I don't think they'll come in with the same £110 million offer. I think they'll offer a bit more, but I don't think it's going to be the £150 million that Newcastle wanted. I think Newcastle are going to probably have to suck this one up and take a little bit less. How much? I'm not sure. I've been saying for months now, I would expect it to be 125, 130, something like that, which of course is still serious money. But I just think it'd be so difficult for Newcastle to get 150 now. I think it'd be ridiculously cheeky for Liverpool to come back in with 110. I think they'll add a bit onto it. And I think, if Newcastle get the reinforcements in, it should be a fairly quick resolution to this horrendous saga that's dragged on for best part of, 2 months now and has destroyed the summer for most of us. I'm sure for you guys as fans, for me as a reporter covering every inch and scratch of it and every breath, honestly, it's been relentless, really relentless. It's been exhausting at times, and I'll be happy for some closure. I asked Eddie Howe at his news conference this morning. I said, "How happy will you be between 1 and 100 that the transfer window is closed?" And he said 101. Like he's had it. He wants it done and wants to concentrate on the football. And just listening to his words in the press conference later on today, when he was saying that he's had to remove himself from the situation emotionally and almost sort of saying that he not just accepts the club's decision, but he's had to take himself mentally away from the situation. And it almost felt in his words that there's an acceptance from his side that Isak's probably going to go now, and that's the first time we'd really heard Eddie Howe talk in that way. Until now, he's always said, "I want to stay. I hope I can work it with him again." But he wasn't saying that this morning. There was almost an acceptance in his voice that Alexander Isak is set to leave. And look, my understanding for the best part of a week now has been that if Newcastle get the replacements in, and even if they only get one, if they get one, there's a chance Alexander Isak goes. If you get two, Alexander Isak goes. Now, obviously, Liverpool need to make that offer, but look, they really want him, and I think they'll be fair enough with Newcastle. The way this is played out, to make a fair enough offer that Newcastle are going to accept. So let's wait and see. As I say, my feeling would be about 125, 130. The initial offer was 110 plus 7.5, so 117.5. Look, it's going to be a British transfer record. We know that. Newcastle, look, it's good business, and I think you've got two strikers who are going to come in, want to play for the club and give you two good options. I just think keeping Alexander Isak now with everything that's going on, it just keeps the circus going into the season, and Eddie Howe does not want that at all. So, look, I think it's good news you've got Woltemade in. Let's see what happens with Wissa or Strand Larsen, and we'll take it from there. Okay, guys, leave your comments below. Nice to see you all.
Interesting update from him there. Basically indicating Newcastle get another striker. They're simply going to sell him. Who is that bloke? Oh, that's Keith Dowie. I've just seen this from David Ornstein. Again, we played the clip. It looks increasingly likely Isak joins Liverpool. When he got the reporter asking the question, do you think he'll become a Liverpool player? He then responded, it looks increasingly likely Isak joins Liverpool, but still needs a lot of tapping for it to take place. So he still thinks. He's basically doing the PR thing and saying, yeah, but without saying yeah, if you get what I'm saying. Garnacho, so it's Stamford Bridge. That's kind of imagine it was gone Chelsea. You know when you deep it? You know when you really, really deep it? And obviously, yeah, there's a growing expectation at St. James Park that for Isak could happen. It's going to happen, so let's not run that gimmick. Let's not run that gimmick. Yeah, Garnacho going there is kind of mad. It's wild. Chat with 7 likes from 50. So we're gonna wrap up in about 5 or so minutes. So if you can try and get me to 50 likes, that would be appreciated. And with 3 subscribers from 2,250. So let's see if we can get both of those targets today. We need 3 more subs and 6 more likes. Big up my community as always. Should we round things off on the Geehy situation then? Because I think that's what everyone wants to talk about. I mean, look, as it stands, Crystal Palace, I think they have signed a player at centre back. I'm gonna have a look. Let's have a look. Chat, who is it that Crystal Palace signed? Because everyone in the chat was going on about it. Yeah, Wolves have signed a player, so Larsen's probably gonna go. Tyrant Lamptey, man, going to flipping Florentina. I thought this guy was going to be one of the next big things. I thought he was a really good talent. For a few years, he just suffered with injuries. Yeah, here we go for Wolves there. Chelsea, signing all these flipping... Oh, my days. They love doing deals with Brighton. Brighton. Yeah, if you haven't seen also as well, Simicast, obviously, he completed his loan move yesterday, so that's done as well for him. Yeah, he's now a Roma player. I think what happens, potentially, Robertson goes in a year and Simicast becomes the backup. I just think there's no point really having 3 left backs as of right now at the club. I mean, how old is Simicast? He's 29 to be fair. He's going to be 30 next year. Actually, no, I don't think he does become the backup. He's 29, flipping hell. God, I remember when he was like 23, 24. But yeah, chat. The things with Geehy, in my opinion, I've remained consistent. I'm going to stay on that. In my opinion, how I think it's going to go down is very simple as this. It's going to be a deadline day signing once Palace get another player or two. I know people are going to mention their chairman, what he's been saying and stuff like that. For me personally, I think it's just all PR, really. When do Crystal Palace play? If he's dropped from... When do Crystal Palace play football? They play tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. If he's not in that squad or anything like that, and the deal's not done by then, Geehy happens. I'd be surprised if he's in that squad. You'd think he's probably not. Because surely not, because you're going to be potentially signing for Liverpool like 12, 13 hours later. Surely not, or a deal tomorrow. So that game is going to be very telling. I think if he plays, I actually don't think we probably get him. But we're going to have to, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, Florian Plettenberg saying, deals at the end of the window. I know a couple of other people have, tweeted about the Geehy thing. For me, it's a deadline day sign. I think once Palace get another player in or two, I think we see it. Obviously, at the current time, Sammy Motbo did say Crystal Palace are working on signing 2 centre backs out of the sanctioned Geehy move. Geehy went on a deal, and Palace are reluctant to let him leave for nothing next summer. So yeah, we know that. Big up the chat though. We've just hit 50 likes. Big up to you, everyone. Liverpool. Oh, for God's sakes. Yeah, big up Red for Life. Hope you're well, my guy. Big up the chat as always. 88 of you in the building. If you are new, chat, make sure you're subscribing. We've got a couple of streams for you today. We've got a Liverpool preview later against Arsenal. We've got a video of that as well coming out. No, I'm not reading the tweet, the flipping comment out, mate. And then I think What else we got? We're going to do a transfer show tonight because I reckon you'll hear some more stuff by tonight. You'd think by tonight you would hear some more stuff, because that at that point, by tonight, as it currently stands, there is only the window slams shut in about 2 days, in about 5 hours. So you know by tonight, when it's less than 2 days to go, you're hearing something about one of the two. And fingers crossed, it will be the player, Isak, we want to hear about. But, chat, we're going to wrap things up here. Hope everyone has a lovely, lovely day. Yeah, we've got some big content going out over the weekend. Got about 3 or 4 streams. We've got a lot of content coming your way on the channel. So yeah, we're gonna keep smashing that out. We're gonna keep smashing the content out for you all. And yeah, big up the chat as always, man. Showing mad support as always. Mad. Yeah, have a good one, footy. Yeah, big up. Yeah, big up the chat as always, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me see if anyone's live. Anyone live we can redirect. Redirect. My boy Views on Sport. He's live. He's an Arsenal fan. Go and say Reacts Raisins. Tell him Liverpool are going to slap up Arsenal. Tell him that. Tell him that from me. But yeah, big up the chat. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back live later tonight. Probably about 8 o'clock. Tonight we should be live. But yeah, take care and peace.